What is going on, everyone? It is week 1 of preseason for the Houston Texans. Football is finally back. I cannot tell you how excited I am, so I want to be the first to welcome you all to the 2023 Houston Texans football season. I am your host, Ruben Calvillo, and I drop daily Houston Texans content. I will be here from preseason 1 to week 18, giving you daily Houston Texans news, rumors, and updates. So make sure you guys are following me on my Twitter, Instagram, TikTok for the latest news. And if you are new here to the channel, welcome. I just hit 7K. Thank you guys so much for the continuous support. Now let's get on to 8K. Now the Houston Texans dropped the unofficial depth chart for tomorrow's game. That's how you know football is back, ladies and gentlemen. I am so excited. So we are going to go through the starters on offense, the starters on defense, my expectations for each of those position groups, and what I want to see in tomorrow's preseason game versus the New England Patriots. Your starters on offense goes quarterback CJ Stroud, no surprise there. Running back Dameon Pierce. Fullback Andrew Beck. Wide receiver Robert Woods. Wide receiver Nico Collins. Tight end Dalton Schultz. Your offensive line goes Laramie Tunsil left tackle. Kenyon Green left guard. Juice Scruggs center. It would have been Scott Quisenberry, but with the recent injury in practice, tore his ACL and MCL, we will be seeing a lot of Juice Scruggs. Shaq Mason will be your right guard. And Titus Howard at right tackle. But with the recent injury to his arm, broke his arm, is in a cast, I think the Houston Texans will start George Fant in his replacement. And Fant, we signed him a couple of days ago, was recently with the New York Jets, can play both left tackle and right tackle. I think this is an underrated signing for the Houston Texans. And shout out to General Manager Nick Caserio for bringing in some depth. Your starters on defense. Defensive end Will Anderson Jr. Defensive tackle Malik Collins. Defensive tackle Sheldon Rankins. Defensive edge Jonathan Grenard. Your will linebacker will be Christian Harris. Your Mike linebacker will be Denzel Perryman. Your Sam linebacker will be surprise, number 53 Blake Cashman. He gets the nod, has had a solid training camp where he has picked off both CJ Stroud and Davis Mills. Cashman, you definitely deserve this spot. Make the other linebackers work for that position. Your nickel will be Desmond King, Agent Zero, your slot cornerback. Your two outside corners will be Derek Stingley and Steven Nelson. And your two safeties, Jimmy Ward and Jalen Petrie. Man, this Houston Texans defense has talent all over the field. But what I want to see from this defense is exactly what I've been seeing so far at training camp. How they are embodying the DeMeco Ryans mentality, the swarm mentality. I need to see this defense flying all over the field. I need to see more than one person tackle the ball carrier. If you go back and watch the San Francisco 49ers defense when DeMeco Ryans was there, it wasn't just one 49er making a tackle. It was 10 or 11. I need to see that. I need to see that high energy that we have all been seeing at training camp these past couple of weeks. I have high expectations for this Houston Texans defense in tomorrow's preseason game because I don't just expect the ones to dominate. I expect the 2s, the 3s, and the 4s because there has been competition all over the field. These guys have been going at it, and I think it is going to be a great way to showcase head coach DeMeco Ryans and how this defense is going to be for the remainder of preseason and then leading into week 1 against the Baltimore Ravens. The one position group that I'm going to really keep my eye on is the linebacking group because there is talent and it is going to be a close race, and even head coach DeMeco Ryans said it himself. Christian Harris, Denzel Perryman, Blake Cashman, I think we could all agree we saw that as a potential starting linebacker front. But with Henry To'oTo'o, Christian Harris still there, Jake Hansen still there, Corey Littleton still there. I think all these linebackers are going to show out. I don't think it will drop off from the 1s, 2s, 3s to the 4s. They're going to make this job even harder for head coach DeMeco Ryans. I just can't wait to see all these linebackers flying around. For the offense, what I want to see is the Shanahan Kubiak plays. I want to see play action. I want to see so much pre-snap motion, that it gets the defense confused. Because the Houston Texans, we've seen a stale offense the past 2 years. We want to see some excitement. I want to see a play action bootleg and we take a shot deep to Nico Collins. When you go out to training camp, the Houston Texans try to go for that high energy play. Most of the time it's on the very first play of training camp. So that's what I want to see from this offense. Now, in regards to how long we will see the players, right? When you look at the offense, I do expect 1 to 2 series from CJ Stroud. I would love to see him for an entire quarter and a half. Can you imagine if CJ Stroud gets 2 halves against the New England Patriots? That would be so crazy to watch. Dameon Pierce, I think we might see him for about 4 to 5 carries, much like what we did last year, where he had one against the Saints, where he just showed exactly why he should have been RB number 1. I think he'll have that same kind of performance here in just a couple of runs. The wide receivers, I need to see them rotate consistently. Robert Woods, Nico, Noah Brown, Tank Dell, John Mechie, Xavier Hutchinson, Steven Sims, and Alec Beckman. I need to see them consistently playing during this preseason game. As I mentioned before, there is no current one wide receiver. Every different day of training camp, we are saying that this guy stood out, that guy stood out. It is normally one of the rookies or second-year guy, John Mechie. So I need to see someone in this wide receiver group really step up. I don't think we really see Laramie Tunsil that much, which begs the question, do you really want to throw CJ Stroud out there without LT and Titus Howard? You are definitely going to have to, obviously. But I'm just excited overall for this preseason game to get underway. And, the past 2 years have led up to this. From being 24 up on the Kansas City Chiefs to the slippery slope, which was losing DeAndre, firing Bill O'Brien, getting rid of Deshaun Watson, that whole trade fiasco, 7 wins in 2 years. It has been dark days being a Houston Texans fan. And tomorrow feels like the light at the end of the tunnel, and we haven't even played it down yet. But that's how confident I am in this coaching staff and these players. This Houston Texans team has absolutely turned it around. Shout out to the owners, Cal and Hannah McNair. Big Sarge, he put out a tweet out there that says, basically summing up that this change from the Houston Texans doesn't really happen if Cal and Hannah don't step up. Shout out to the Houston Texans owners, and make sure you guys are following me every step of the way. I will drop daily Houston Texans content, so make sure you guys return for more. As always, go Houston Texans. You guys have a very blessed day.